a Skull Candy headphone. Just ask them to install the app. It's a lot easier to sell, right? I want 30 bucks from you, or just install this thing. Hey, if you like Skull Candy, you think you like Skull Candy, just install this app. It turns out that if you do that, and it's a lot easier conversion to do that, now you've got somebody who's part of a community, and they feel like they're part of a community, and as they watch this day after day, they start to feel connected. Now, this app doesn't do it, but there's the possibility also to bring them in contact with other people who are part of that community and have similar interests. I was just talking to Jesse via Twitter about Facebook integration, right? What if the Facebook API were integrated into KRL? And you could now start to think about who are people's friends who also have the Skull Candy app installed, and connecting those people through Facebook. That's powerful. Don't underestimate the power of this kind of stuff to drive community and the reasons why people might want to do it. So, sorry to interrupt.
Thank you, Phil. No, that's a great addition to what we were trying to do here. They had even talked about doing a Facebook application, or well, once the card was installed, again, they have opportunities to be in front of them all over the place. The browser, the overlays aren't always the best way to do it, because they give you that kind of that pop-up feel, you know, and but at the time that was kind of what we had to play with, and so all these rules were based on that. Another one I was going to show you, because I thought video again was intriguing when you start to think of video being planted on other websites. We also did one, or we're thinking about doing one. For the Mitt Romney campaign, where again you have a following or a community that is perhaps maybe very interested in a certain politician. He has his own website called Free and Strong America, but think about the power he could have by spreading his word across the internet to his, audience. And so again, we use percolation to showcase on the websites of his choosing. This wasn't particularly one, but I'm just showing it. The White House one, where he actually has his icon, and that clicks through to his website. But again, with the use of video, we have the ability now to drop his video straight on the White House website.
Strong American website.
Woo!
Strong.
Think how that could be used in a time of presidential debate where I want all my followers, all the Mitt Romney people that are rallying behind me, and I want to stay in front of them at all times. They install the card once, and now video messaging, tweets within their Facebook show up. I mean, there's all kinds of opportunities.
Imagine that with Foursquare, and when you visit a place, having a tip pop up with Mitt Romney's video.
Exactly.
Showing up.
Exactly.
Polling play. I don't know if that's legal, but.
Yeah. Again, you have to be very,
There might have to be some new laws that come out.
you have to know your audience. You don't want it to be something where it's going to be, obnoxious and things like that. But
well, I think that's the key too, is because these cards or endpoints will go out to people of a community that want this experience. They're electing, they're opting in to this experience, and so, yeah. Question in the back corner.
Yeah, as I can see, we're using Firefox, and I know they're probably fine for, or this is usable for Internet Explorer. Is there any danger or any kind of a threat if the browsers ever decide to get pressure from companies like Bose and the White House or whoever comes down on them and says, we want you to outlaw these extensions or anything like that, where they can just come through and say, we're going to go ahead and not allow these extensions?
Okay, great question. So basically the question is this legal? And would somebody come down on you and say, stop doing this?
Bring it on.
Yeah, that's. I would like somebody with a lot of money to get sued and prove this in court. It has not been tested all the way to court. However, ad blockers have been found to be legal. If the user installs it and wants that experience on their browser, then ad blockers have been found to be legal. The other piece is, it's not doing anything significantly different than SideWiki. You're going to outlaw this, outlaw SideWiki too, and I'd love for Google to take that fight on. I'd love for somebody to take Google on over that. that might be percolating. We have also had, and I know Azigo has had, lawyers look at this and render opinions, and the opinions are very powerful that if the client is installing this, you are in safe ground. So we are very confident that this is legal, that people can't shut it down, and that the courts would rule in favor of this. Now, if somebody like Google sued, you're fighting their legal team? I don't know, but Google is on our side, right? SideWiki essentially puts Google on our side. They've already bought off on we build client tools which allow people to write against somebody else's website. So.
Yeah, and the other thing was, if Mozilla ever decided to regulate what type of plugins, is that something that they could potentially say, we have rights over what plugins will allow?
Recently, Mozilla actually got asked by somebody, I can't remember the details, if somebody remembers the details, help me out, asked by somebody to take down an extension. The Electronic Freedom Foundation, EFF, f.org, sent a note to Mozilla, said, you shouldn't be doing this. Mozilla relented and actually put it back up. So Mozilla has actually shown that they will support these kinds of extensions. It was an ad blocker of some kind.
Do we have a follow-up back there? Daniel, Bray?
I'm just curious if Mozilla might even see this as an opportunity to differentiate themselves from the browser wars. If they take a tough position that, well, we're going to give freedom of expression or whatever in terms of extensions, whereas Microsoft might be a little
Yeah, so Daniel's point is that Mozilla might see it as a way to differentiate themselves. I guess my reaction would be, I don't want the differentiation. Essentially, I want to run on IE and Firefox and everything else, right? So I just assume not have that differentiation.
Okay, do we have any questions for Danny before he walks away? How about a round of applause for Danny? Okay, next up is Tom Carroll. He is Vice President of Product Management at Azigo. We appreciate him taking some time to walk through a couple of cards and answer some additional questions on some of the things that they have created. So, let's see if we've got a screen up yet. All right, okay, Tom.
Cool, so we've got, I think, about 8 cards that we're shipping out to the public these days, and they're a little more buttoned down than some of the stuff you've seen, but I wanted to take a minute to talk about sort of the data that goes into these and what they do. One of the things that we've found has been a little bit of a challenge is getting our hands around that data and providing the data to the Kynetx rule so it can do its thing. So I'm going to talk about just 3 of these, eBates, the library card that Phil's talked about extensively, and WBUR.
Sorry, I stole your thunder.
So that's okay. So the library, the Minuteman Library Network, it's in eastern Massachusetts. It's about 43 different town libraries are in this network. And actually, there's a little bit more to this card than what Phil talked about. It's the one that we ship out is a real information card. So library patrons can actually use it to do one-click login into the card catalog and do transactions, in addition to finding things on Amazon. The data behind it, as Phil described, kind of looks like this. We've got this Kynetx rule. It grabs an ISBN out of the URL on Amazon or Barnes & Noble or wherever. It sends it to this data service. The data service sends back the name of the book and the URL where you can get it. or just nothing, says, you know, I don't have it.